Spartans! What is your profession?
All right, here we are back for another episode of Spartan from the Inside. This is episode 20. It's hard to believe we've done 20 of these already. But I guess if I keep saying that every time, then we'll eventually be at 50 and 75 and then 100 and know when we've done them. Today is a special edition version of Spartan from the Inside because we're not talking about just a specific race weekend, but we're talking about a specific event within a race weekend, right? I'm honored to be joined today for this edition by the one and only Dan McDonald. Dan, welcome.
Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. And so before we get into why we're here to talk today, let's quick recap. Like you've had some, you've just come off a pretty big adventure yourself, right? You just summited Kilimanjaro with a group, correct?
Yeah, we had a gentleman named Jeff Harmon and his foundation, which is My Impossible. And literally the idea was he didn't think in his wheelchair he'd ever get a chance to summit Kilimanjaro. And thanks to Joey McLemore, formerly from More Heart the Scars and now Dealers of Hope, we got 35 people together in groups to be able to take them up that mountain. Had a lot of adventures along the way, including breaking off the front tires on summit day and had to treat it like a chariot on summit day. Thankfully, the porters that live on the mountain are very acclimated to 19,000 feet and heavy lifting, because we were beyond our ability to help at that point. And we got Jeff got up to the second to the last summit, so we were running out of time to do the last part of it. But he did make it over 19,000 feet in a wheelchair, which was incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing, and obviously, like you said, the people that live there that kind of assist in this in these adventures, right, and these accomplishments, they're pretty amazing people themselves, right? I mean, they live and work. I mean, they don't know anything different. That's all they know is living at elevation, and so it's normal to them, right? So they can obviously do a little more, but even more importantly is the fact that you had 35 people in your group, right, and Jeff, and made this trek up this mountain in Africa, which it's definitely a bucket list trip for me as well. And so, looking forward to that at some point, sometime in the future. But man, just seeing some of your pictures and following some of your posts and things like that, it looked like it was just an amazing journey. Again, just everything about it looked like it was unforgettable.
It absolutely was. It definitely. It reminded me that everything's possible. You got to put your mind to it. And I do have something you and I are going to talk about down the road here about an event next year, just before the Fort Carson event. We're going to do a special Pikes Peak climb next year with the Teddy Bear Paul Foundation. That we're going to do a little something special with them next year that will get you lined up with us.
Yeah, I'm in for that. That's one of my favorite places and one of my favorite trips. As often as I can do it, I love doing it. So now let's talk about why we're here today, right? And that is so we have a bunch of like-minded people like Jeff Harmon himself, right? And the call has went out. You yourself have really kind of been involved from the beginning and like really kind of getting this ball rolling. And what started as this little snowball, right, is now it's an event. Like we have this event happening, and it is the Para Championships that is going to take place in Orlando, Florida. Along with, again, not to leave anything out, right? We're gonna have an amazing weekend, right? We're gonna have the Super, the Sprint, the Kids, the Para Championship, all of this down at Lake Nona. And so again, let's first and foremost, like, how did this come about? Why did you get so involved with this and really make this what it is now?
So again, I think we all can think back to Laughlin 2019. Before the world went sideways in 2020, right? We had an amazing team championship out in the desert in Laughlin. Absolutely incredible. Para athletes from all over the world coming and competing there. But what we were missing was the individual, like letting individuals in the different categories compete, like we would do for an elite in that age group. So that's been a conversation for a while. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. When I came to work for Spartan, I had just met Team Oscar Mike on the course 4 months prior to that. So I was new to running with adaptive athletes and saw that any excuse we think we have as able-bodied athletes, we can just throw it out the window because that's all it is an excuse. These folks were doing incredible things. And then I started running with Joey and other folks. And then we've done a couple of world's toughest with folks in wheelchairs. And it's just like, this just kept the motivation going. And then last year, the team out at Greece for the Trifecta World Championships had enough para athletes show up for the Trifecta World Championships. They did a real impromptu, their own heat, and gave them their own category. And John DeHaan was one of the ones there. Jolene, who runs here in the U.S. In her wheelchair, and a couple others did it, competed, and then we realized we need rules now because we made up really quick rules, and it got us through. Totally got us through. But John, as you can imagine, John's obviously been a force of this for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
So John and I and Earl Granville got together and said, can we pull this off? Can we really cause enough noise? And thankfully, the team that I've gotten to know that was over there at the Trifecta World Championships last year, Jesse and Oliver and Karen, and they came back and said, yes, we can do it. I said, okay. So the original conversation was, yes, we can pull it off in 2026. And I'm like, no, we're going to pull it off
this
in 2025.
Yeah, this year.
Like, we worked for a guy who's the signature in his email says, fire, ready, aim.
Yes. Yeah, that's the truth.
So we're going to push it, right? We're going to fire. Maybe we shouldn't be firing because we're only 4 months away from the event date when we finally got it released, but we knew we had to do it. Otherwise, it was going to happen in 26. What's that forced us to do? It forced us to have a full rule book ready by September 1st.
Wow.
So we did. So the obstacles, only the obstacles that are going to be in Orlando are in the rule book. The rest of them are waiting to have, we'll wait till after Orlando to realize the mistakes we made. So those who are listening, yes, we know we will have made mistakes. We know that you will have things that we didn't do right. We're okay with that. The great thing, Jason, and I mean, we do this a lot for the vision impaired athletes. After we wrote the rules and how the different obstacles affect them, I went and asked friends of mine who are going to be competing, is this fair? Does this make sense to you? As a vision impaired athlete, does this work? Overwhelmingly, yes, these all make sense. This one's gonna be a little more challenge for me because I really can't do that, but it's fair for all of us. Boom, that one was done. Wheelchair athletes. So again, this is probably one of the biggest changes we're going to see on the course. You know, Jason, you see it every weekend when Oscar Mike is on the course. They have a wheelchair athlete. They get to monkey bars. They lift the person up to monkey bars. Two people that are the same height. The person sits on their shoulders. They put a person in front so they can't fall forward, person in back so they can't fall backwards, and they walk through the monkey bars. That's fine in the open course. On race day for the Para Championship, we will lift the person in the wheelchair up to the monkey bars and let go. Either they will do the monkey bars by themselves, or they will get back in their wheelchair and go do the penalty loop.
Gotcha.
Either way is fine, but they have to at least get up to the monkey bars. So we went and did that, and then I reached out to people who are going to be affected by that. They're like, absolutely makes sense. If I train myself to be able to do monkey bars, I should have a little bit of advantage over the ones who can't.
Yeah, for sure.
Same as our competitive athletes. Like, I still can't do Olympus. I still hate Olympus. I know if I'm running competitively, I'm doing the penalty loop. Those who can fly through Olympus have an advantage over me.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
So same thing here. So that's what we did. So really excited about that we actually have got the full, all the categories are done. The cool thing with the categories, Jason, is we actually worked with USA OCR, like or para committee.
Okay.
It is a combination of their categories that they used for an event last year. And Joey and I happened to be on that committee, so we helped write the categories and then brought it over to Spartan. So with what we're doing as we get through the end of the year, this should be the categories for OCR.
Okay. I like it.
That's the goal, right? Because
Yeah.
I'd love it if other OCRs sent athletes to our para championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, like you said a couple things I want to call back on this, and that is, one is yes, it is a very short timeline, right? But like, listen, we've got it baked out enough now. Let's put it to the test because that's the only way we're going to figure it out. We could wait till 2026 and be in the same exact spot we're in right now. Like, we're ready to go. Let's do it. And again, the fact that you've reached out to individual groups of people, right, that those specific obstacles would impact differently, and you've gotten their buy-in. That says a lot about the dedication and commitment to the product that we're trying to put out. And two is you brought up a couple names like that have been around as long as I've been around, right, in this. And those are people that I respect and trust their knowledge and their commitment to what they do. One is Joey, right? Joey is he's just a phenomenal human being, right? And what he does on race days out there, it's one of those things where I see him coming over an obstacle with their athlete, whoever it may be at the time or wherever they may be, and it's one of those things that like it forces me, and just speaking personally, right? It forces me to stop what I'm doing and really appreciate what he's doing, right? And really appreciate what the athlete's doing. And again, there's no excuses, right? Like you can come up with a million reasons why you don't want to get up and go for a run in the morning, or you don't want to go to the gym in the morning, you don't want to go run that Spartan race this weekend in Nashville. But at the end of the day, there's exactly that. They're just excuses, right? And these people, they will make you rethink your excuses, right? You just can't have them. Like, you just got to commit to do it and do it. The other person is you brought up Earl, right? Earl Granville's been around for a long time. I met Earl in Palmerton, Pennsylvania, at Blue Mountain, back probably 2015, 2016 timeline, right? And he and I have been friends ever since. And again, we don't talk as much as we used to. His life is crazy, right? That guy is everywhere, all of the time.
yes,
But I only bring Earl up because we were in Austin a couple weeks ago at the DECA Ultra World Cup, right? And I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm out there, I'm just doing my thing, man. I'm getting after it, right? Round one, and I'm looking and I see somebody in a wheelchair making laps out there, and I'm like, holy crap. Again, shit, no excuses for me today. I got to get after this, right? And every time I was trying to catch up or let that person catch up, however it worked out, right? And lo and behold, there's always a little transition area set up. And in the transition area, I'm coming out, they're coming out, and I just happen to look down, and it's Earl, right? And I mean, this is a DECA Ultra. If you've not done an Ultra Fit or know what the Ultra Fit is in DECA, then just look it up, right? It's 5 DECA Fits consecutive, and Earl's out there grinding away at a DECA Ultra, right? And just crushing it. And so again, just got to spend some laps with Earl, during DECA in Austin doing that. And again, just another amazing human being, right? A great ambassador to the sport, a great ambassador just to human beings as a whole, right? He's just a great person all around. So glad they've been involved with that. And again, glad Joey's involved with this as well. So let's talk real quick about the venue, right? Now we kind of know the why and how things have transpired and why we've gotten to where we've gotten to, how we've gotten there. So the venue, right? Every venue has kind of its own little unique personality. And I would say this one is no exception. Like, this is a unique venue, right? It is Orlando, but the area is called Lake Nona, right? We actually have an office space there that we operate out of as well. How did what made this the right place to do this? How did this venue come about? Was it timing? Was it something unique about the venue, or was it just a combination of things?
So when the venue was announced, that's when we were trying to figure out where to hold this. And there was conversation about holding the Para World Championship in West Virginia as part of the Trifecta World Championship. Would that have made it easier for us to do it because we already have a championship going on? We already have all the pomp and circumstance. It would have made it easier on Spartan. I truly believe that. However, just like everything else we did, I mean this, we reached out to athletes and said, we're looking at this. It'll allow you guys to get this stage with thousands of people, and we're going to celebrate the trifecta and so on and so forth. Or would you like to have your own standalone event? That the only thing going on that weekend, the only thing happening at that event is the Para World Championship, along with a regular weekend, but no other championship. Nobody else gets the spotlight. And that was the overwhelming answer. So then so now it was scramble a little bit. And the conversation was leaning towards Sebring. Okay. Still have it in Florida.
Yeah.
Just because that's where a lot of, we could do a lot from down here. And we announced the event or the venue for Orlando. I'm like, well, that doesn't get a lot handier. It is across the street from the office.
Yeah.
The only negative I saw with it was it's competing with Fenway, same weekend as Fenway. So I'm like, okay, well that's a big event for us, right? We know that's thousands of people. How big is the Orlando event really going to be? Because the last time we held an event about 15, 16 miles away from where we're going to currently hold it, I was a racer back then, and there were a whopping 3,000 of us there. So, and we can't do that, right? We can't hold events with 3,000 people. That's why we stopped going there. So, here we are. But we knew we could make it work for them. We knew we could get the number of people. We have enough connections now. We've been in Orlando for 3 years as a company. Tavistock, who owns most of the land in the area, has enough connections. We were going to have enough people there. The challenge was it was only going to be a sprint weekend. That's what it originally was.
Correct. I remember.
If you remember, about halfway through the year, we threw the super on there.
Yeah. Because
when I talk to athletes, so like, well, if we're going to do a championship, a sprint is not. That's not enough. We would like. I mean, they wanted a beast. I'm like, well, I can barely fit a super in there, as you've seen the map. So I can barely fit a super in there. I sure can't fit a beast. So we did the super. The benefit to this, and the reason we really like this, again, as we talked to especially the wheelchair athletes, was this is a flat course. Like I'm telling you, any competitive racer who happens to be listening to this, come down to Orlando, you will set your personal best. I almost guarantee it. Like, this should be record-breaking speeds for the sprint and the super. And but the access is incredible. We have 3 hotels within a football field's distance of the festival.
Yeah, which is a huge plus.
Walking distance on concrete or pavement. We have 4 parking garages that are next to or across the street from the venue. We're 15 minutes from the airport. We're holding this on November 8th and 9th before rates in Orlando get really stupid for hotels. Come down early and make it a family vacation at Disney, or stick around late and make it a family vacation. Right?
Come see me at Disney.
Right? I mean, just it's right around there, and it's before Thanksgiving, so it fit really well, and it allowed us time, because the other, in West Virginia was is a couple months earlier. We're like, we can't pull this off by September. So it gave us 2 extra months to plan. That's how we ended up here. And
well, I'll say this, like, I think that, no, I think it was the right choice, right? I think logistically, just from that perspective alone, whether it's from our end or from the racers' end, it's definitely a much more logistical and user-friendly experience, right, than getting to West Virginia. I mean, you're not close to anything out there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, no, I think it's perfect location for it, right? And you said it, right? You've got the hotels are convenient; they're right there, and I'm sure within probably another mile and a half from the venue, there's probably another half a dozen hotels,
There
right?
are, yeah,
Right, and
100%. I
so,
mean,
um,
there's 20 hotels less than 5 miles away.
perfect. You
So
can't, yeah, not much more convenient.
then there was one more thing, Jason. There's one other thing, and I know you've seen this a couple times, but something we're doing twice a year now with the VA hospital that's in Orlando, which is 2 blocks away from the venue. They have a rehabilitation program for adaptive veterans. They'll be out running with us like they do every year with Oscar Mike and Dealers of
Yeah,
Hope
yep,
on Saturday. So
awesome.
what we're going to do is invite all of the competitive para athletes that are running on Sunday. Come out and join us. Come out and hang with the veterans and hopefully talk a few veterans into running the championship next year. And if you're a racer and you're going to run competitively on Sunday, what better way to get a sneak peek of at least half of the course
Yeah,
on
for sure.
Saturday? So
Yeah, no, perfect plan for sure, and that's awesome that they're involved out there as well. So yeah, it all makes sense for sure. Um, so again, we touched on this a little bit, right? But I just want to kind of bring this back up for just a second. Logistics is always it's always like the thing that makes or breaks an event most times, right? And I mean logistics from just parking, right? And access into festival. You said it, like you're right there. There's like what, 4 parking garages right there on the property?
and they're huge. I mean, they
They're
are
big.
they are monstrous parking garages. KPMG, big consulting firm, holds events here of 15,000 plus people 4 or 5 times a year in this very area. We've got plenty of room. We've got plenty of room. Um, the the cool thing too, if you're coming on Saturday, is the Orlando Veterans Day Parade for the first time
Yes.
ever is being held in Lake Nona for the first time ever. It ends in our festival.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
And again, for our company, as veteran focused as we are and military
Yes.
focused as we are, we're like, you'd like it to end where? But we had to make sure that they really wanted. They're asking us if it was okay if the parade ended in our festival area. I was like, yeah, just bring it right on through.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
And
will
listen,
figure out a way.
and just in talking with Tom, right? Tom Brown, who is the event director for this event, and talking with him when we were looking over the maps and just kind of going through some stuff a couple weeks ago, we were talking about it. And when Dan says this thing ends in the festival area, like those parade floats will come through festival, right? And so what an experience that's going to be like. And again, how fitting. It's the Veterans Day Parade, man. Just, yeah, it's just I think it almost perfectly worked out that way, right? And it's almost like it should have been. So very exciting about that. And again, I will be down there not for this event, but now we're probably going to swing by as at some point part of the event just to see everything and see everybody. But yeah, if you're on the fence about coming to this event, I would say, man, just now's the time to jump in and get off of the fence about it and sign up, right? Come down and be a part of the event. Like again, Orlando is relatively inexpensive to fly in and out of if you're going to fly. It's really easy drive from most places, especially in the southeast. So again, all the things, all the stars kind of line up for this event, and from an accessibility standpoint and a convenience standpoint. And you said it, like we're having this event, before all the rates for that area, because again, you're getting into all the holiday season through all the big theme parks down there, right? And so that's just a big time, and things get a little crazy down there then too as well. Um, so obviously, when we're talking about the para championships, right? Athletes, all these athletes some require very specialized gear and equipment and things to help them get through the course and navigate just day to day, right? What are some things? What can people expect to see when these athletes show up? Like, what are the different classes? Because you mentioned there's some different classes or groups the way they can register for this. What are the different classes that we've got?
And just to keep it real basic, right? So you're either going to have upper limb or lower limb, um, adaptations. So whether they're able to use their arm or not use their arm, or if they've got a prosthetic on, or whatever it is, we're going to have upper and lower. There'll be extreme or not extreme. There'll be a vision impaired, and the vision impaired is regardless of the level of vision impairment. So we have one lady who is completely blind, her helper will be right there with her as she's running through. But again, once she gets to the obstacle, all that the person who's helping her can do is help walk her to what she needs to do and talk her through it, but cannot support. So it's, again, we're asking these folks to compete for this championship. And then you'll see wheelchair athletes out there. So it'll be a nice combination of everything. And as of right now, we have people registered in the early registering here. And I know we're only a month or 5 weeks away, and early sounds weird, but just like any other one of our other races, there are people right on the fence. Do I dare go? Do I not dare go? By the way, the answer is yes, you dare go.
Yeah, we'll talk about those people in just a minute because I want to focus on that group.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we've got the categories, and we're going to do this a lot like the rest of our championships, Jason. We're going to have an overall winner, male and female. So all the categories will be competing against each other for the overall. Then we will have category winners after that.
Okay, very good.
So kind of just imagine elite and age group, essentially.
Yeah.
So exactly the way we're looking at it. And again, that seemed to be what everybody wanted. We have, it's a championship. So there's a Para World Championship medal for all the finishers, and then deltas for all of the podiums. We will be doing, so again, if you're in the area and you're coming to the event, we are not going to have a full parade of nations. I really wish I had 200 athletes coming to this with this short of notice. We aren't going to have that this year. We know we're going to have a much bigger turnout next year. So we are going to get them up on stage, announce their names, and we will be doing that on Saturday after the kids' awards at 11. So at about 11:30 on Saturday, we will celebrate all of our athletes and the nation that they're from. And for those of you who have done enough championships in the past, we're going to do a little bit different racer debrief than what we normally do. We're going to take them out on the course, and we're going to walk the entire course with all of our athletes. So we can go obstacle by obstacle and explain to them, here's the rules, ask your questions. But it gives them a chance to get out there and see the course. And then the event is on Sunday. So again, if you are running Sunday morning, I beg you, please do not leave after you finish your race. Not only that, but we're not going to have the awards done for the elite and age group anyways by the 11 o'clock start time. So you're going to be around there anyways. Please come to the start line, cheer these folks on. Some of them are making. I've got a gentleman I'm talking with tomorrow from Romania that's coming to this thing.
That's amazing.
Two from the Philippines, a couple from the Netherlands. They're coming a long ways. Let's show them.
Show them some love.
Let's show them U.S. Spartan, right? How excited we can be for them. And then awards ceremony. So this will be the hard part. This is the challenging part, to get people to stick around till 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. I totally get that. By the way, next year it'll be on Saturday, so this won't be as big of a challenge. But just the way the logistics worked out this year. But if you are not having to leave, please stick around, because if you've never seen one of these athletes cross the finish line on an open, wait till you see him cross the finish line in competitive.
Right?
There's no cooler feeling than to just be in the same vicinity as these folks. So.
I agree. It gives me chill bumps thinking about it, like right now, like goosebumps, right? Because that's all you can say about it. Like, there's nothing like watching them finish. And you said, like, I get goosebumps when I watch them finish. To your point, just running in an open heat, right? Man, when they're out there being competitive, if anybody can stick around. And again, like, man, there's nothing cooler when you see your elite athletes and your age group athletes. They finished, and they know they've got their podiums, and they're just waiting on that. Man, get over to the start line and cheer this group on when they leave out of that start chute. Man, there's going to be an unforgettable experience for sure.
Well, Jason, you know Amy Haskell from DECA events. Yeah, she's coming. She'll be competing as an example. Okay. I mean, we got some good athletes out there competing, and she has a pretty rock star team on her wheelchair.
Does she? Okay. That's going to be awesome to see that. That's for sure. And again, I think, we'll come back to that in a second. Okay. So for somebody coming in for this event, right, we're going to shift gears just a little bit and kind of do a little detour. Let's talk about some local things, like local attractions. Like I've been to Lake Nona, right? Great little pizza spot right there, by the way, right by the
Yes.
office. Like love the pizza spot there. But if someone's coming in for the weekend, right, or going to make a long weekend out of this, where are Dan McDonald's? I would say where are Joe's favorite watering holes and restaurants, but it's probably out in the back in the pasture eating grass,
Yes. Very close.
drinking water out of a hydrant. Where's Dan McDonald's favorite food stops, favorite watering holes? Where would you recommend somebody maybe go and visit while they're here and hang out just to grab a great bite to eat and a drink?
And see, I'm the kind of person, I don't know the names of the places, so I'm going to have to give you the names of the places to put in
Okay,
below.
we'll plug it in below then.
But there is a seafood restaurant on the water for Lake Toho, which is less than 20 minutes from the venue. You are right on the water. It is amazing food, amazing service, locally owned.
Stuff.
Like they get their fish locally caught. There are a couple other places like that. If you don't go towards Disney, don't go towards iDrive.
What? Why not? It's the happiest place on earth.
I know, but that's where all of the chains are. Get away from the chains.
Yes, get away from them.
Get yourself down to 192 in St. Cloud, and you just travel that. You will find all kinds of local seafood places, especially. If you've got the time, I highly recommend setting some time aside to go to Cape Canaveral. It is less than an hour away, straight east of Orlando. If you've never been to the Kennedy Space Center, that's pretty cool stuff. So I'd highly recommend heading that way. Again, if you're a NASCAR fan, go tour Daytona Speedway. It's an hour away. Everything is about an hour away from here. There are some amazing natural springs where we have, live about 45 minutes north of town. And it just, again, you could go there and you just enjoy nature. And there are some, again, I'm a barbecue person, so there's a couple really good barbecue places. Can come back down to 192 in St. Cloud where I live. Amazing barbecue places down here. Jason, I will get you a list that you can put in.
Yes, here's the list
of the actual names. I can drive you to all of them.
I bet you could. I know that feeling.
I just can't. I don't remember what the actual names of them are.
All right, so list of food and watering hole places to come on this post. So keep an eye out for the comments. We'll make sure everybody gets that information. So, all right. So, one more thing before we wrap up, and we can't skip this little spot. I know we're getting close on time. We can't skip this point right here. And that is, I was looking, and again, I know this isn't just for the para event, the para championship. This is for the whole event. But there's an awesome list of partners lined up for this event, right? I mean, it's a lengthy list. The overall event: Unicity International, Visit Orlando, Playmaker Athlete Services, Rain, Teletize, JLC Services, Upgrade Labs, Ruse Locker House, U.S. Border Patrol, Athletic Brewing, More Hearts and Scars, Oscar Mike, Guardian Angel Service Dogs, Team Blue 4, which I know them personally, Heineken Silver, Navy, Florida Army National Guard, and you'll have Degree at the Cold Wash Rent Station, and you'll have Smart Water at the finish line. And that's a lineup, right? And so in any of those specifically there for the para championships that we'd like to make sure we get a shout out to?
Yeah, so the Florida National Guard is providing 20 reservists for as marshals. So people are wondering if we're going to have marshals available. Yeah, we're just going to roll out the National Guard for the marshals.
Perfect.
And we have 20 to 30 Marines that will also be on hand. So our goal is to have 2 marshals at every obstacle for the Para World Championship. Awesome. 1, to make sure we're following all the rules, and 2, who better to cheer you on?
Yes.
Than our armed services. So they'll all be out there. Obviously, Dealers of Hope and Oscar Mike are out there helping out. Blue 4 is going to be out there helping out through the weekend. We have one more that just got added. The U.S. Tennis Association will also be out there doing an on-site activation also. with us and working with us. They have a wheelchair athlete that I am about 80% have talked into coming.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Come do it. Yeah. Test your metal, right? I say it all the time. So that's great. Yeah. And again, these events, man, they just can't happen without all of our partnerships out there, right? So huge shout out to all the partners that are going to be there to make this event happen. All right. So now we're at this is what I like to call, this is the call to action, right? And this is, I said we would come back to this in just a minute, right? Because there's, again, we know this timeline for this event's been pretty short, right? And so again, everybody's having to make some decisions and try to kind of get everything together on a little shorter timeline than we normally would operate on. But again, we're going to make this thing go, and it's going to be an amazing event. Dan, what's the call to action? Somebody's on the fence, right? You've got a para athlete out there that sees this tomorrow or the next day or next week. There's still plenty of time to really make things happen, right? What's the call to action? Like, how do we get them signed up? What do we need to do? Yeah, yeah, just sign up. Yeah, and it's funny you said it that way, because I think the theme when we talk about this, every one of these that we've done for these events, we did it for Trifecta World Championships, Pan Am, Super World Championships, right? All of these, and the theme stays the same, right? And that is, the hardest part is just signing up. Just sign up, right? And if you're like, well, I don't have anybody to go with, just show up. I tell everybody, sign up and show up. You've done the two hardest things, because all you have to do is get to the start corral. You get in the start corral, now you're instantly surrounded by 30 or 40 people that are very like-minded, right? That are all out there for the same thing, that are going to encourage and push. And again, whatever has to be done to get everybody through that, right? You're going to find somebody that you can run that course with, or walk that course with, or crawl that course with, or roll that course with, whatever's going to happen, right? So quit thinking about it. Number one, right? Just sign up. If somebody has questions, maybe they're on the fence and they just have some questions, how can they get questions answered about this? Yeah, that's a fact. I know he will do it. Yeah, reach out to me if you have to. Jason.barnes@spartan.com, Dan.mcdonald@spartan.com. I'll make sure questions get to where they need to get to if I have to. And I think really what we've just done, Dan, is we've taken most of the excuses that somebody could immediately come up with right off the table. Like, they're gone, right? So just sign up, and hit us up with questions. Because again, like, there's a rule book now, right? We've got rules in place now that people can better understand what's going to happen. So again, all of those things are taken care of. So, sign up, show up, put up. That's all you got to do, right? Awesome. Dan, I appreciate you taking the time today to talk about Para Championship with us. Looking forward to this event coming up in November at Lake Nona. It's going to be an amazing event. And again, I think it's just the beginning, right? It's just the start of big things to come. As we, again, we're going to put this event on. It's going to be amazing. We're going to learn a lot of lessons from it, and go into 2026 thinking, man, we know exactly what we've got to do to make this even better than it was in 2025. And that's all thanks to you and the team, putting this event on and planning this event out for the time that you've put into it, and we're grateful for that. So I know all the athletes will be thankful as well. They will. Awesome. All right, Dan. Again, remember, anybody has any questions, Dan.mcdonald@spartan.com, or hit him up on Facebook. He'll get your questions answered for you. And then sign up, Spartan.com. Dan, appreciate your time today. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.
Spartans! What is your profession?